Welcome back to Big Movie Mouth Off, the podcast where three Salt Lake City film critics talk about film. I am Jeff Counts.
I'm Adam McDonald.
And I'm Brooks Bird.
This is episode 7. It's great to see you guys. It's been a couple of weeks.
Yeah. Well, it's been kind of crazy. So it's not as if we've had much time to all meet up. So
it's like it's June or something.
Adam's been doing
Or
a lot of
summer.
traveling for work. So we're lucky. We're very lucky to get him back. We're on Zoom, which we don't love, but we're here. I wanted to tell you guys, you may or may not remember in Jimmy's old movie room, one of the Mondo posters he had that I loved and I coveted was the one from The Raid. I think it was one of the best posters they ever did. Well, Kat just gave it to me. So the next time we record in the studio, guys, we'll have Jimmy with us in the form of one of his favorite Mondo posters. I'm really
that's awesome.
excited about that. Yeah.
I remember that. That was a cool poster. So
it's an incredibly cool poster, and they're hard to come by now, like all Mondo posters, of course. All right, well, let's talk about this show. Episode 7, we're going to review Little Mermaid. We're going to review Spider-Man Across the Spiderverse. I got that right, guys. Thank you. And we're going to talk about our guilty pleasures, which this week, of course, is remakes. And then we'll talk about coming attractions. First things first, Little Mermaid. Before we get into it, how about some of the trailer?
He's a human. You're a mermaid.
That doesn't make us enemies.
Okay, Brooks, take us through this. What's this about? Not that we don't know.
I know. And you literally do. It's the same old song and dance. Well,
shot
maybe
for shot.
Not quite the same old song and dance in most of these song cases. But everybody's back. Ariel wants to be human. She wants to be where the people are. And her auntie Ursula may have a way. And she gives up her voice for legs. And we all know where the story goes.
So my biggest problem is like the whole suspension of disbelief for this movie. She wants to be where people are. Okay, I'm out. That's just the moment you want to be where people are. I can't do it anymore.
Well, she's never been where these people are. And
let's
all know better.
Let's stipulate that this is indeed a movie and the people in it do not represent the people that you and I see on an everyday basis. So
all right.
I wouldn't mind being where those particular people are either, but us people, not so much.
They were very rich.
Yeah. So let's set the stage a little bit for what we're getting into here. So I made a joke about a shot for shot remake. It's not literally that, but it is a very similar pacing.
Except it's an hour longer.
It is a lot longer, and there are some additional songs, which I'm sure we'll get into that. Alan Menken and Lin-Manuel Miranda wrote 3 new songs for this version. I want to tackle something right from the start. I did it in my review for the radio station, and I want to do it here. The first thing that anyone said when the teaser came out were comments about the race of the person cast as Ariel.
Of course.
Yeah,
Halle
like I
Bailey.
said, the people I don't want to be around.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And what I said in my review on the radio station, I'm going to say here, and then we're just going to drop that topic. What I'm going to say is, internet, shut up. Enough. Just please shut up. Halle Bailey, I thought was wonderful in the role. I thought she had an extremely expressive face, very good singing. I just thought that she had everything you would want in a live action Ariel. Now, let's just use that as a way to jump in since we're looking at real people's faces here. What did you guys think about the performances?
Halle and Melissa McCarthy were wonderful. They played their parts. They were spectacular. Melissa McCarthy just chewed the scenery as she should. And Bailey sang her heart out, and she's just so full of wonder. I mean, you just see that look on her face, and it's just, she, like you said, she totally envelops the character. The weakest link was absolutely Prince Eric. Whoever Jonah Howard King is, I'm probably not going to expect to see him in much more, especially after his big hilarious serenade.
Well, you're talking about the power ballad that they wrote for him.
Yeah, his power ballad.
We'll get to the songs in a minute. I just want to
bad.
Before I hand it to Adam, I want to say that I totally agree about what you just said. McCarthy and Halle Bailey were the real standouts for me. Halle Bailey, I think, Adam, sells this in a way that makes it okay to suspend disbelief because she's so likable and so wonderful in the role. And Melissa McCarthy was exactly what you say, Brooks. She was a scene stealer. She was fantastic. Javier Bardem was fine. He was appropriately regal. It was fine. He wasn't in it much, but
He's
he was
there.
fine.
Eh.
I thought the voice acting of the companions was good. David Diggs was particularly good, in my opinion, as Sebastian. But Adam, did it work for you? I know that you said suspension of disbelief might be a problem with this.
It was more just about the wanting to be where the people are. No, Halle Bailey was fantastic. I'm so excited for her. I really think she's got a bright career ahead of her. Whatever she wants to do, if she wants to act, if she wants to go on stage, I mean, she's set an amazing foundation that she can just build like this fantastic career on. So I can't wait to see what else she's going to be in. Like Brooke said, Melissa McCarthy was having the time of her life. I mean, you could just tell, like, it's always great when you see an actor who really just loves what they're doing. We talked about Nick Cage with Renfield. You know, they get the plot, they get the role they're in, and they're just there to have fun. And that is infectious. It's enjoyable. I kind of wish we would have seen her more, but then we know from the original story that's not part of it. I personally didn't mind the actor playing Prince Eric. I thought that he and Ariel had some pretty decent chemistry. I will say my biggest problem with this film is, aside from the fact that it's way too long, is that you're in this magical underwater kingdom. It's full of all these beautiful fish and colorful and just everything you could hope for in this magnificent kingdom under the sea. And I was just bored by that. Like, I didn't care. And it wasn't until they actually got up on land, when you had the interaction between Ariel and Eric, that it got engaging and you got to see different people and different cultures. I think their version of Kiss the Girl is my favorite one. I will say that I liked it better than the animated version. Counts is shaking his head at me, but oh well, he's allowed to be wrong. I didn't really need his song. Now, I will say that her song she had when she couldn't sing, so it was kind of like in her mind. I like that one a lot.
You mean the montage song where she's getting used to life on land? That one. I thought that was the best of the three too, but I am going to jump in right now.
Okay, go ahead. I know you got to yell at me.
I'm going to disagree with you on two things very strongly. First of all, they had zero chemistry, zero. Jonah Howard King was a cardboard cutout. They might have done that on purpose so that she could shine the most, but he was a completely forgettable hunk. And I thought that was a tragic misstep with regards to the casting. Not that he's bad, it's just the performance wasn't great. And I thought, I'm sorry, the Kiss the Girl sequence was the least interesting visual part of the entire film. It looked like a YMCA pool that was dressed up for prom. It was lame.
Did you fall asleep during Under the Sea? Because that was the worst.
Oh, Undersea was horrible. Oh my God, I hate it.
I could listen to Aquafina rap nonstop all day long before having to sit through Under the Sea.
You stop
listening to Sebastian sing his guts out about all these fish doing all these things that aren't doing anything.
Well, that scene was underdone for sure, but it didn't look like summer stock theater like Kiss the Girl did. That was, I thought, incredibly lame. And I don't know where you're getting the chemistry from, Adam, because I just felt like they had none, zero. I mean, Brooks, did you feel the chemistry with them?
There was a little bit, enough to carry a Disney movie.
So you're both wrong. So you're both going to be wrong right now.
That wasn't great. And I have IMDb up on my screen right now. I had no idea who he was. I could not remember his name.
I think he did a Little Women remake.
I barely forgot he was Eric.
Yeah. Adam, I've trashed you enough. What did you like about the Kiss the Girl sequence?
I just kind of like how it was, I don't want to say underrated because that's not the word I'm looking for. It was just very minimalist in a sense, because in the original one, you've got all the fish and everything, the birds and all kinds of the crazy things going on. And it kind of felt like they were trying to be more intimate with it, I guess. And for me, there's the whole, I mean, I guess we can kind of talk about maybe spoilers a little bit, that they did make some changes about Ariel on land doesn't quite know what she needs to do, and her friends do. So it was kind of like, hey, we need to make it more of a quiet, intimate moment than this big thing. And I've always thought it's funny. There's this meme on the internet about the fact that, you know, when they're doing the Kiss the Girl scene in the original Little Mermaid, like Eric must be absolutely horrified because he has no idea these things can sing, and they're just squawking birds and fish all around him. Cinematography, I like the way it was done. For me, I actually liked it a lot, which is one of the few things in the movie I really did enjoy. So let me have it, damn it.
Okay, you can have it. You can have it. You were all allowed to like bad things. That's what the guilty pleasures are for, but I didn't know you were going to get there so soon. But look, we have to talk about the songs, right? Because there's three new ones. There's the one Adam mentioned, which I agree worked really well. It's I can't remember what it's called, but Ariel sings it sort of in her mind while she's getting used to life on land. It's kind of the montage song. Then there's the big power ballad that Eric sings when he goes out to sea and he's looking for the girl who saved him. I thought that didn't work at all for
It
all
was
the chemistry.
hilarious.
Well, funny unintentionally.
Yeah.
And I thought it missed because of all of the chemistry reasons I talked about before. And the third one is Scuttlebutt, which was Aquafina's character. And I'm going to say for the record that I'm a huge fan of Lin-Manuel Miranda, but I think this kind of song, this fast patter song, funny, jazzy, rappy, I think that's kind of reaching its sell-by date. I think he needs to start doing something else.
Especially when it's showing up in this.
I'm bored with it. What did you guys think of the songs?
Well, I think the Lin-Manuel thing, I remember we've talked before about directors or stuff where someone needs to sit them down and say, no. And I think Lin-Manuel needs that because I do love him a lot. I like Hamilton, In the Heights. He's done so much amazing stuff. And I know he's trying for his EGOT. He's got one left to get it. But yeah, there are times when you have to take someone who really is a genius. And I will call him a genius, not with no hyperbole. But sometimes you just got to be like, buddy, sit down, sit this one out. He did write For the First Time, which was her Bailey song. She sang the montage song. But that being said, there were some great songs like Part of Your World that can never be a bad song. But when Scuttlebutt came on, at first I thought it was just like, oh, they're going to kind of do this little humming thing for a second. And then it became a literal song. And Clark was sitting next to me and looked over me because I was banging my head against the seat. I was channeling Jeff Michael Weiss and banging my head because I was like, oh my God, are we really doing this? So, I mean, overall, the songs were inoffensive. Poor Unfortunate Souls was just a lot of fun. Under the Sea, it was kind of hit or miss. We already kind of talked about Kiss the Girl, but it is what it was. In fact, I walked out and I was like, I was okay. It was fine. And that's kind of how I felt about most of the songs, at least the new ones. But the ones that hit really hard. And I think she sang Part of Your World better than Jodie Benson.
I'm going to download that version onto my phone. No question. Brooks, what did you think?
Well, the more we keep talking about the Scuttlebutt song, the more I realize that I like it on its own. Like, just if I watch the clip with Sid, I enjoy the song. I don't mind it. Aquafina started doing rap songs. That's how she got famous on YouTube. And she's hilarious. And so I didn't mind it. However, it made me realize talking with you guys that song is so unnecessary. And then they cut Les Poisons.
I know, that's like the biggest
one of the best songs
movie.
in the whole movie. And they cut that out. They mention it.
Yeah.
He says something about having a scuffle with the cook and we don't see it. And then we get that. So like, I take Scuttlebutt on its own, but the fact that they cut the other song just really makes me mad.
I haven't even thought of experiencing on its own because I thought it was such a misfire. I haven't really gone back to give it another chance, but
it's the only song Sid will listen to because it doesn't have a mermaid in it.
Yeah. I mean, we've talked about Aquafina a few times lately because
we like her.
We do like her. She was in Renfield and she was great in that. And we've talked about how she sometimes misses on voiceover stuff if the material's not right in her wheelhouse. I thought most of the stuff she did speaking wise was really good as Scuttle, but the song for me, I am really curious to see where we end up with scores on this because I think we disagree about a lot of the individual elements of this. But I have to say for myself, it was a fairly enjoyable experience. And most of that I lay at the feet of Halle Bailey. I feel like this is a 2.5-star movie. I enjoyed myself. I don't think it's great or even really good, but it's fine. The question I asked myself when I was writing up my thoughts afterwards was, did we need this? And I have the same answer that I've had for pretty much all of the Disney live action remakes. The answer is no. I think pound for pound, the original's better. Brooks, what do you have?
Well, I mean, the original's the classic, it's like, how do you beat that? And they knew they couldn't. And so they didn't even try for most of the movie. And it plods along. It's way too long. The extra songs are totally unnecessary. The performances are pretty much the only saving grace. So thankfully, she's in the entire movie. to keep you interested even slightly. So I have to stick with just 2.5 as well. I would never give a 3, but like if Sid for some reason wanted to watch it, I wouldn't care if it was on, but I would probably sit and play with my phone.
All right, so 2.5 for you, 2.5 for me. Adam, break the tie.
So I've been fluctuating up and down like by a half point ever since I thought of how we do this, because my site, we do things a little bit differently with the stars. And I was going to take it down a notch because of 1, Scuttlebutt, and 2, she has this little jade mermaid she finds, and they keep on saying, oh, look, it's the Little Mermaid. I'm like, oh my God, stop. I was also banging my head on the chair when that happened. But I am going to go up a half point from where I was. I'm going to go to a 2-star because of the fact that this is going to launch Halle Bailey's career. And if anything good comes from this movie and that's it, then I will be
It's
very
her.
happy.
I think
Exactly.
we all agree on that. So I'm 2.5. Brooks,
2.5.
Adam,
2.
there you have it. Little Mermaid, the live action remake. We will come back in just a minute to talk about Spider-Man Across the Spiderverse. Welcome back to Big Movie Mouth Off. We are going to discuss Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse next. Before we do that, let's listen to a little bit of the trailer.
Miles, being Spider-Man is a sacrifice. You have a choice between saving one person and saving every world. Send me home. I can't do that.
I can do both! Spider-Man always...
Not always.
What about Uncle Ben?
If not for Uncle Ben, most of us wouldn't be here. Can't stop me now! You can't run forever, kid!
I can't lose one more friend.
Miguel, this isn't what we talked about! You knew?
I have no idea what you're doing!
Everyone keeps telling me how my story is supposed to go. Nah, I'm gonna do my own thing.
Okay, Adam, I think it's easy to say that the three of us have been incredibly excited about this movie.
Yes.
So why don't you give us a quick synopsis of the story?
Yeah, so this is, I mean, not even so much as what's seen in the trailer. It's very basic. Basically, we've got Shameik Moore back as Miles Morales. Haley Steinfeld's back as Gwen Stacy. They're in their own universes because everyone kind of split up at the end of Into the Spider-Verse. Miles Morales runs into a new nemesis, the Spot, who's played by Jason Schwartzman. And they get in a tussle that brings Spider-Gwen, or Ghost Spider, whatever you want to call her, back to his universe because something has changed and shifted. And now it's not just the fate of his universe, but all the universes that are hanging in the balance.
That's pretty much as you can say, isn't it? Brooks, if you can't,
Yeah.
you can't see it, but Brooks just held up a bunch of Funko Pops that are from the movie. We are a bunch of nerds here, there's no doubt. But look, the first thing that happened when I sat down to watch this film, and I think I've probably seen it the most recently, I saw it yesterday as we record.
Yeah.
And when I sat down in the theater and it started, I was immediately drawn back into the world that this animation creates, the animation style of this film. There's nothing quite like it out there. No one's taking the risks. No one's taking the big swings that this movie takes with its animation. The action of it is incredible. I love the fact that it pretends to be an actual comic book so many times throughout the telling of the story. I just was immediately enthralled with how this movie looks. Now, I also got lost pretty quickly. I'm not going to lie, because this movie jumps right into the deep end of the pool in terms of the intricacy of the plot. I was fine by the end, but it took me a little while to get there. Do you guys agree that this movie takes a much more in-depth look at this world than the first one does, at least at the beginning?
Well, I mean, this one's assuming you've seen the first one. So we've already done the world building. We've already created the idea of these multiverses, who Spider-Gwen is, who Miles Morales is. So even some stuff as far as like the bad guy, you know, there's things thrown in there that you're like, oh, yeah. So I think it really does intend for you to have gone through the primer of having seen the first one, and hopefully recently. I mean, first of all, you should, because it's amazing. And second of all, that is kind of required viewing. If you go in without having seen the first one, you're going to have no idea what's going on.
Brooks, before I let you answer, I want to amend what I just said. And you're right, Adam. It definitely assumes that you saw the first one. I think it also assumes that you've done a lot of other Spider-Man deep diving since you saw that, because there is so much to this. You need to really understand not just Spider-Man, not just Miles Morales, but almost every different iteration of that character over the years. I mean, Brooks, am I wrong?
Not completely. I mean, I think that it's just the Easter eggs are there, of course, especially with all the spider people who show up as it goes. But I don't think so. Sid knew what was going on. She was sitting there with me. She loved it. she was following along, and she never even got bored. It's almost 2.5 hours long, and she never even needed to get up and use the restroom. So I don't know.
I take your point that Sid understood it and I didn't. I understand what you're saying there, Brooks, that Sid is smarter than me. I think we all agree with that.
And this proves why you're wrong about Kiss the Girl. So there we go.
I'm not saying that I was lost in a way that frustrated me. It just, I felt myself a little bit adrift at the beginning.
Overwhelmed.
Yeah, a little overwhelmed by
Okay.
all of it because I don't think they're Easter eggs. They're hatched. I mean, they're egg dishes. I mean, they're part of the plot. They're like
They're
important.
serving me my dinner.
There's so many different Spider-Men that I was like, which one is that? Who's that? You know, I felt like I needed to know more than I did. I felt a little unprepared for it. That being said, when I just sort of relaxed and let it wash over me as a story, the same way the animation did and the brilliant soundtrack did, I was in just as much as I was in the first film. And there's no question, we've talked about this on the show before. The Utah Film Critics Association loved the first film enough to give it their best picture that year. We had a little moment of fame across the critic industry because we voted that movie the best movie of that particular year. And I stand by it. I stand by it. I know you two do as well. So I'm talking too much. Adam, talk a little bit about the overall experience for you.
Well, I think what was interesting is that the first movie is in my top 10 movies of all time. Yeah, I can't say where exactly it is because that's just too much thinking on my part, and I've had a busy week. So going into this, I was really excited because I was like, hey, this is like part 2 of my favorite movie of all time, but I didn't know they could top it. And not only did they top the first one, they made the first one look like a rough draft written by a kindergartner, while this one was getting its master's thesis out there. I mean, every single thing you could think of about the first one that was amazing, this one did 10 times better. Like the art style, they still kind of had some of that comic book style, but then like we've talked about the first one before, is that almost every single frame of that movie, you could pause, snip, and hang on your wall as art. And this one is somehow managed to outdo that. The way the certain scenes come into play and all of a sudden color splashes on it like it's a watercolor, and then it switches to like a CG hand-drawn type of thing, which I still don't know how they do, because that's absolutely amazing. I mean, just the animation style alone should be a masterclass presented to college students who want to learn what animation should look like. Storyline was fantastic. It starts out with like, hey, this is what's going on, and then boom, it's like a roller coaster. The moment you hit the top of that first hill, it never stops till the end. And yeah, they're just throwing stuff at you. It's like if you were to pause and watch every frame of that movie and write down every single Easter egg you saw, or every single, like you said, hatched egg, you'd still have to watch it 5 times to catch them all. There's so much in there.
I can't wait to see it a second time.
And I've already pre-ordered my Steelbook. Thank you, Brooks, because it's sold out now. But there just isn't anything wrong with it. And most of the time I come into a movie that's 2.5 hours long and say, hey, I loved it. We should have snipped 5 minutes here, 10 minutes here. I looked over at Clark when it was over, and I'm like, oh, it's been 2.5 hours. Like I could sit here for another hour if we want to. Like, and it is a to be continued. So I know some people were upset when they got that at the end. It's very much the Empire Strikes Back of
somehow people have forgotten.
I don't know, but I honestly can't say enough good things about it. And the highest praise I can give something like this is not only do I want to go ride that roller coaster again, but I have a limit of 650 words for my reviews. I had to stop at 1100 because I needed to spend another hour editing to get it where I wanted it to be. I just couldn't stop writing about it. So absolutely fantastic. I will be pushing this for Best Picture at the end of the year. So.
No kidding. Wow. I mean,
same.
I want to respond to a couple of things you said. First of all, about the art style, and I talked about it at the beginning, how much it drew me in. One of the things I loved, we're always talking about how the multiverse or multiple universes are depicted on film. We've had a lot of opportunities to experience that over the past year. I loved the fact that certain principal characters had their own completely separate art style, the way they drew Spider-Punk, for example.
Yes.
And he would be standing right next to somebody that was a little bit more photorealistic, but he had his own like collage style of art. And I thought it was incredible the way they made that work. You never doubted it. You never lost your place visually. It was so seamless the way they brought those different ethics into the visual language.
It just made sense.
It did.
Like sometimes there could be 6 different visual styles standing right next to each other, but it never looked weird.
Exactly. It just because the point they were making was that all these things were coexisting in the same sort of space. And I thought that was great. You say, Adam, though, that you think it tops the first one in every way. And I think you might be standing out a little bit when you say that, because a lot of the critical opinion out there right now is that it's not as good as the first one, not as fun as the first one, not as charming as the first one. I've seen enough of that to make
These
me
people
wonder.
are sad.
Well, I don't know.
Well, here's the thing.
I agree with that. Like, I don't know what else I can say.
I said it's the Empire Strikes Back of this trilogy, right? So
Right.
are we saying that Empire Strikes Back was less charming and cheerful than the first one? Yeah, it was, because it had to be. It's the middle of a trilogy. That's how trilogies work. So they can say that all they want. I mean, they're wrong. But if you go in, you're expecting the exact same thing you got the first time out, and you want it just to be more of the same. I mean,
You get that.
then you're going to sit
You get
there and you're
some.
going to complain that, oh, well, it was too much of the same. It's some people just want to go in and not be happy. And I know a lot of people think film critics go in and like not like a movie. Like, no, I want to go enjoy my 2.5 hours. I'm going to spend.
We
in a
don't want
theater.
to hate movies.
No. So I think some people just went in wanting to not like it, or like, oh, well, let's see if they can outdo themselves. And they did, but then they're like, well, it didn't outdo itself how I wanted it to. So.
Yeah. I mean, it's been 5 years since Into the Spider-Verse.
Which is impossible
Yeah.
for me to believe. I mean,
It's been 5 years,
I can't believe it.
which is crazy because Beyond, the third one, is supposed to come out next May, but they said
Yeah.
that there is a possibility it might not be done by then.
If you look at the job description of this movie, what it was supposed to do, right? It was supposed to move the ball in every way from the first one. It was supposed to top all of its achievements, and it was supposed to make you incredibly hungry for the end of the trilogy. I think it did all that without question. As a centerpiece film, as an Empire Strikes Back part of a trilogy, I don't think it could have succeeded any better. I think it did exactly what was required of it. The voice acting is once again spectacular. I mean, Haley Steinfeld, like, she's so good as Gwen. Shamik Moore, again, he's maturing. The character's maturing, he's maturing, it works. And I thought that the rest of the cast was incredible too. Oscar Isaac, man, again, talk about people who can do no wrong. I mean, he had some very powerful stuff to sell in this film. He had a lot of heavy lifting to do in terms of the plot and his character. I don't think it gives too much away to say that his character treads the line between good and evil throughout this film.
Mhm.
And he does that really naturally, not unlike what he had to do for Marvel, right? Why am I drawing a
Mhm.
blank on that show?
Moon Knight.
Moon Knight, exactly. Not unlike what he had to do for Moon Knight. So Oscar Isaac's sci-fi chops are just getting better and better. I agree with you, Adam, when I was talking about what other people are saying. I certainly wasn't talking about myself. I think this movie
Oh, no. I didn't think you were.
It took everything the
Yeah.
first movie did and did it better. This is not one of those experiences where the first movie is so iconic and so unique that the second one was bound to pale by comparison. That didn't happen here. This is a real Tears of the Kingdom moment here. It took everything the first thing did and made it better. Brooks, you said you didn't have much to add, but you must.
I'm obsessed with the movie. I can't stop listening to the score. I really don't listen to the soundtrack as much just because the score is just so much better than the first one. I mean, a lot of people complained with the first one that it was just a lot of kind of loud and obnoxious in some instances. And on its own, I can see why people would think that. But like with this one, Daniel Pemberton, oh, he just kills it. Everyone has their own themes. You know what's going on when you listen to it. You know exactly where people are. You know who's in the scene. I had it on the other day, and it was the opening track and just those drums. And Sid is like, hey, that's Gwen, right? And I'm like, yep. So it's spectacular, amazing. It's the best Spider-Man score ever.
A lot was asked of this film. It had to jump off the top of a building and land on the head of a pin. I mean, a lot was expected of it, and I feel like it did it. I don't think I have anything negative to say about this experience. When I talked about being a little lost at the beginning and feeling a little thrown in to something that I didn't fully understand, that's a me problem. That wasn't a filmmaking problem. They were obviously working with what they left on the table at the end of the first film, and they were working with a fan base that probably person for person has a little bit higher literacy than I do. But kudos to bring someone like me along as quickly as it did, because it didn't take long for me to say like, oh, I know exactly where I am now. I got my feet underneath me, and it felt great. I'm not sure what else we need to say. I mean, we probably should just go to our scores. And if I had to guess, we're probably all at 4 stars, but I definitely am. I think it's one of the best films of the year so far. I know my nerd friends in the UFCA are going to be talking about this at the end of the year, and I'm not going to be disagreeing. Adam, what about you?
We can do 5 stars, right?
Nope.
Oh, okay. Dang it.
What about
No.
11? Can we crank it up to 11?
Nope.
No, definitely 4 stars. I don't know how you could have listened to me gush about it without guessing that. I can't think of another movie coming out that's going to be best animated for us. I'm throwing it up there for best picture again. On a campaign hard for it. It is quite literally a perfect film, and it's the first one raised the bar for everyone, and this one managed to pole vault that bar. So I don't know what they can do for the third one.
I would give Haley Steinfeld a best supporting nod for this too. Honestly, I would. And I might
Yeah,
say
it
it
is
when we
so
get
good.
there.
The only thing wrong with it is you're going to sit through the whole movie, then go through the credits, and there is no scene. So just leave when it's up.
True.
There's two things you need to be aware of if you're going to see this film. There's no end credit scene. So watch the credits if you want to, but you're not going to miss
It's a
anything
short
if
credit too. It was like
it is.
3 minutes.
Yeah, you're not going to miss anything if you leave. And also, it definitely ends on a to be continued. There's a huge reveal of a new element that happens in the last 5 minutes of this film.
Mhm.
And when it happens, you think, okay, they're not going to be able to wrap this up. So don't be surprised by that. It's part of the big plan. So
Cliffhanger
4 stars.
at its best.
Exactly. 4 stars for me. 4 stars for Adam. Brooks, 2 stars for you?
I mean, maybe 1 or 2. No. Duh. Of course, 4. This is like the best film of the year. It's one of the best movies ever made.
And you are listening to 3 nerds right now tell you that a Spider-Man movie is one of the best things of the year. Trust us when we tell you, you can be someone like me who was a late adopter of all of this comic book culture. You can go into this almost with no experience with these characters and have the time of your life. It's drawn so beautifully. It's got such a great score, such a great soundtrack, and the voice acting is absolutely top shelf. This is simply not just one of the best superhero movies, one of the best movies, period, of 2023 so far. So for me, 4 stars. Adam,
4 stars.
Brooks,
4.
we loved it. We're going to take another break. I need to take a breath. And we're going to come back and do our Guilty Pleasures remake edition. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Big Movie Mouth Off. I'm Jeff Counts.
I'm Adam McDonald.
And I'm Brooks Bird.
We're going to talk about Guilty Pleasures now. This is the remake edition, obviously, because of Little Mermaid. It broke my heart, guys, when I thought of this edition, because I realized that I burned my first choice when we did Bad Accents edition, because my Guilty Pleasure remake would have been Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves if I could have, but I already burned it on a previous episode. So I'm going to say one that honestly, it's a fantastic film. The only reason I bring it up is because it was a remake of an iconic, beloved actor's work. And I'm talking about the new True Grit that came out with Jeff Bridges.
Oh, I forgot about that.
And the John Wayne one is excellent. It's wonderful. But the Jeff Bridges version of Rooster Cogburn in that True Grit, it was the Coen brothers, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's starring who else? Who have I been talking about for the last 20 minutes? Haley Steinfeld.
Yep.
I loved that remake. That movie probably didn't need to be remade, but wow, they absolutely nailed it. I know that the Coen brothers, people can be hot and cold on them.
Mm.
I've almost never been cold on them. I've liked pretty much everything they've done, but this one was a real treat for me. So Brooks, what's your remake guilty pleasure?
Well, I had 2 to choose from, but I think I'm going to settle on the one I thought of first. I'm going with Piranha 3D.
Yes. Oh, I forgot about that movie. I love it.
Every time you say, Brooks, you guys are going to know what I'm talking about, I'm always surprised somehow. I don't know why, because I know you well enough. I should be able to predict these things.
It's an amazing remake. I mean, they took Joe Dante's classic. For the time, it was a gore-a-thon, but you watch it now and they hardly have to trim anything out of it to show it on TV at night. But the remake, oh man, yeah. Don't let your kids walk in on you watching that one. I mean, everything from the TNA to people getting their scalps ripped off by motorboat
To a floating quote unquote fish.
It's very phallic. A very phallic
It's a
fish.
hammerhead.
All right. So Piranha 3D for you? Seriously, Brooks?
I stand by that movie. I have it signed by Richard Dreyfuss. No matter how crazy we found out he is.
It's almost like I didn't understand the homework because I did True Grit and you did a true guilty pleasure. I mean, there's no question. All right, Adam, can you top that?
I don't think I can top that, but I also have a completely guilty pleasure. It is 2001's 13 Ghosts.
Ooh, that's a good one.
To refresh your memory, it was Tony Shalhoub before he was Monk, Matthew Lillard as one of the other characters, a psychic. You've got F. Murray Abraham slumming it as the bad guy. And it's this thing where they're trying to catch these ghosts in this house that constantly moves and has puzzles and releases the ghost to
It's like a Rube Goldberg house.
kind of like that, yeah, where the bad guy's trying to get it to become all powerful. It is cheesy as all get out. It is silly as anything you can possibly think of. Bad special effects. And I love it so dearly. Like, it's just so much fun and stupid and idiotic. But every
Oh.
time it's on, we don't really have live TV anymore. But when we did, if it was on any channel, I would stop and watch it till the end.
Well, and it
But-
sits right next to House on Haunted Hill.
Yeah, it's that kind of silliness, but
It's that
yeah.
William Castle remakes.
I had no idea that this thing even existed. And I have to say that because I think the segment of the show that impacts people's watch lists the most is this
Is
one.
this one?
People love the guilty pleasures, and every week you guys give me something that I need to watch. I have never heard of this movie, Adam. Brooks, I'm probably not going to watch Piranha 3D.
No,
I don't
I
wanna
have
break your
another
heart,
one.
but-
Do you want to know what the second one was? You
Go
might
for
want
it.
to watch that one.
Bonus guilty pleasure. Do it.
Fright Night.
Oh yeah, of course.
I
That's
like
the-
the remake of Fright Night. No, I think it's better than the
Exactly.
original.
No,
I
it's
think
not
so.
better, but they definitely coincide with each other perfectly.
I never saw either one of
It's
them.
a
and I'm good.
perfect update.
All right. So let's go through the list real quick. Mine was True Grit. No big stretch there. Adam,
13 Ghosts from 2001, not 1960.
Brooks.
Piranha 3D.
And your bonus was?
Fright Night 3D.
There you go. We're going to come back after one more break and we will give you our coming attractions. These are things that we are excited about, things that are coming soon to either the big or the small screen. Stay tuned. Welcome back for the last time on this episode of Big Movie Mouth Off. Coming attractions, things we're excited about. Brooks, what are you looking forward to?
You know, they showed it at the wrong audience. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny.
That
I
was
don't care.
mine.
I'm very excited.
You are not wrong.
mean,
It
I
is
l-
getting
I love
destroyed
Indiana
by
Jones.
critics.
James Mangold hasn't directed a bad movie. Girl Interrupted, Copland, even just all the way up to Ford versus Ferrari. And Logan, come on.
It was heartbreaking to see how bad the early reviews are, like just destroying
Yeah,
this
it's-
movie. And
I mean, I don't love Rotten Tomatoes, but I think it's at like 50%.
Well, didn't they premiere it at Cannes?
Yes, that's what I
Why?
said.
Why would you do
The
that?
wrong audience.
totally.
You can't
Totally.
take the snootiest film festival in the world and show them Indiana Jones.
All right. So Indiana Jones, Dial of Destiny. I agree with you. I'm looking forward to that too. I'm going to try to ignore what I'm reading. What are you looking forward to, Adam?
Is it too early to say Beyond the Spider-Verse? No.
It's not.
Um,
It's not.
Never.
So that's the obvious one from our discussion. And I actually was going to go with Indiana Jones, but Brooks, you kind of took that one. After the newest trailer, I'm actually really excited for the Barbie movie. I think
Yes,
they know exactly
definitely.
what they're doing with it. It looks hilarious. I love the actors and actors, like Margot Robbie. Everyone in it is just fantastic. I just like they're singing and dancing. She's like, "Do you guys ever think about death?" And everyone's like, "What are you talking about?" Like it's
Showstopper.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny because there's the rumor that it's kind of linked to the Lego movie with Will Ferrell playing the same part in both of them. We'll see.
Oh, wow.
At first, when I heard about it, I was like, I don't care. But any movie that could cause a worldwide pink paint shortage, I'm down for.
They're also
So-
Warner Brothers, so that may be linked to Lego movie.
That's a really good one, Adam. I totally agree. That new trailer changed everything about the way I perceive this film.
Yes.
When I saw that Greta Gerwig was doing it, I got worried because I feel like she's made the same movie 5-6 times in a row. And I thought, what is this going to be? But that trailer sold me. I am very excited about this. Greta Gerwig is directing it, right?
Oh, yeah.
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 I mean, the teaser trailer was 2001.
she is a genius, but,
But-
I do feel like there's a tone that she repeats.
Mhm.
And I think with this character, she's going to be stretched in a way that's really exciting. I'm
Yeah.
very, very much in agreement about that.
I mean, she's kind of like Judd Apatow, where he does the same movie
It's
over
true.
and over again.
Okay, so mine is television. Mine's not a film. And it's a series that I did not expect to like. I liked the cast when I saw it, but when I got into it, I was so hooked. I binged it. I couldn't wait. I was so excited when I heard that season 3 was being made, and it's actually coming out as we record in a week. And I'm talking about season 3 of The Righteous Gemstones.
Oh, yeah.
Huh.
The
I haven't
HBO
heard
show,
of that one.
right?
No.
It's hilarious.
Or Max, I guess.
I guess so. Yeah. The cast is fantastic. I'm super excited about that. So for me, I'm looking forward to season 3 of Righteous Gemstones. Brooks,
Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny.
Adam.
The Barbie movie.
Those are 3 things that I think were, well, I mean, maybe you guys don't even know what Righteous Gemstones is, but those 2 movies we're all very excited about. I can't remember if we've got any reshoots to do other than my gaffe about Jeff Goldblum and Benicio del Toro one episode ago, which I tried to fix in context. But any other reshoots from past episodes, guys?
Don't think so.
No, I think that was it. And like you said, we kind of addressed it. So
Yeah,
All right.
Amy Adams hasn't been in anything lately, so we should
or
be
Anna
okay.
Kendrick. So
We probably should hit that one every episode just to be safe. Well, guys, another great time talking about film with you. I can't wait till
Always.
the next one. We'll be back in a couple of weeks to do this again. Until then, I'm Jeff Counts.
I'm Adam McDonald.
And I'm Brooks Bird.
Thanks for being with us. Big Movie Mouth Off is produced and edited by me, Jeff Counts, and co-hosted by Brooks Bird and Adam McDonald. This episode and every episode of the show is dedicated to the memory of our founders, Jeff Michael Weiss, and my dear friend and partner in crime for over 5 years, the incomparable Jimmy Martin.